Hi, my name's Kofi Smiles, the BBC's Face of Hull, and welcome to the Hull 2017 City of Culture documentary. One of my all-time highlights of this year has been, Made in Hull. Where we're standing right now, there was light projections on the City Hall, on the Maritime Museum, and also on the Ferrens Art Gallery, which told a very intricate and emotional story about Hull's past, present, and also had a little glimpse into Hull's future. That all kicked off after In With A Bang on the 2nd of January, and that really kind of launched us into the City of Culture year. It was fantastic because throughout this square, over 350,000 people passed through over the space of a week to witness Made in Hull and see and be a part of Hull's story. Another favourite of mine was BBC Radio 1's Big Weekend and the BBC Radio 1 Academy. We saw the likes of Katy Perry, Kings of Leon, Stormzy were here in Hull. Well, it was actually at Burton Constable Hall, which is about 8 miles outside Hull, but still coming to Hull nonetheless to perform. The BBC Radio 1 Academy was amazing because it gave local kids an opportunity to mingle with some of the biggest names in TV, radio and digital and learn the secrets of the trade. Really gave kids an opportunity to get out there and think, well, you know what, I want to be part of the media world, I want to be part of this life, I can go out there and do it. I myself managed to interview people like Emily Sandé, Eloise from Christine and the Queens, interviewed Nick Grimshaw from BBC Radio 1, also who was Scott Mills and also Greg James. It was incredible. It was amazing because this was one of the events that really pulled in all sorts of ages, names, demographics. Could not have got a better festival. And like I said, it was all here in Hull. Who would have imagined that Katy Perry would have come out on stage and said, "Hello Hull." Fantastic, beautiful. Hopefully we'll be able to do it again. So my next personal highlight has to be the Freedom Festival. Now, it celebrated 10 years of, honouring and looking at the legacy of William Wilberforce, who was one of the key figures in abolishing the slave trade over 250 years ago. And, best thing about that, he was from Hull, and it all started here in Hull. We had the big procession of the Freedom Festival, parade on the first Friday, come through here, where there were huge giraffes, big kind of giants, banging drums, smoke, all sorts of things happening right here. And it was amazing because Kofi Annan was in town that day. He was in town for the weekend because he gave a speech at the Wilberforce Summit, and he was up there on the City Hall balcony watching it with his wife and the rest of his party and everyone else that came to see him. Another one of my all-time favourites of 2017 was the Contained Strong Language Spoken Word and Poetry Festival, which was hosted by none other than the BBC. It was amazing. We had Radio 1 Extra were down. They did lots of spoken word performances here as an open mic stand at the BBC building in Hull. And it was just amazing because they had over 60 events over the course of 4 days. It was incredible. There was even a takeaway poetry van in Queen's Gardens where you could go talk to the poets, tell them a little bit about yourself, and then they'd be like, tell you what, come back in about 5-10 minutes, and they'd write you a personalised poem. It was very emotional. I caught up with a few people that had it done, and a lot of them were moved to tears. It was fantastic, because it wasn't just about spoken word and performance poetry. It was about music, it was about people coming together and celebrating an art which people think is lost, but it's actually getting to be more of a younger person's game. So yeah, Contained Strong Language here at the BBC. I'm hoping it comes back year after year after year as part of the 2017 legacy.
What's your position here at the college?
I'm the theatre events coordinator, so that involves looking after clients who are interested in booking the theatre space and ensuring that the booking can go as they want it to, so coordinating all of the staff and facilities for that event.
Contained Strong Language would be hosted here at Hull College.
From my understanding, the BBC were looking at various venues up and around the city as part of the 2017 City of Culture events programme, and they visited the facilities and really liked the flow of the building. They were interested as well in looking at working with some of the students, such as yourselves, on the project. And we seemed to have the best facilities for what they wanted, and we ended up being asked if we could host the major events at this building. I'm a link person, so they asked me the question, who does this or how can we get this done, and I'll go off and I'll find out and I'll make it happen. So that's kind of what I was doing a lot of, everything from first aid and security right through to billing the client and everything in between, really.
And would you want the Spoken Word Festival to return?
Absolutely. I think it was great for the college just to have the experience of such a big event take place in the college. I think this time round, the college as a whole would get a bit more behind it, would get a bit more involved. I'd like to see there be, I believe you guys had a good experience working with them, and I'd like to see there be more development on that front. I think it's a good opportunity for you guys to have something like that to work on, to put on your CV. You might work with loads of local little companies, but to say that you've worked on a BBC event and had some of your work published online, I think that's a massive credit, and it's a real, you can't kind of just get that easily, and to get that at a BTEC level I think is a really fantastic opportunity. And from my understanding, we have already provisionally booked them in for next year and possibly the year after. So potentially for the next 2 years, they intend to come back and use the space and get more involved. This time they definitely want to use more curriculum, have more curriculum interaction, so that would be great for the students as well.
Thank you.
Okay.